big focus. A total of 5 main accused have been arrested in the Manipur gruesome viral video case where a mob of men paraded 2 naked women. The 5th accused has been reportedly named as Yumlemam Nungsithoui, who is said to be just 19 years old. Earlier, 32-year-old Heradas was also arrested, who was shown dragging one of the women in the video. Other than the accused arrested, there are still a bunch of people who are yet to be identified and arrested in Manipur. These men have brutally groped, filmed and sexually assaulted the women, which is unacceptable to humanity. But the question now remains, what is now the legal route for these barbarians? Let's quickly go and explain some more of these details to you first before opening it up to our panel. Some shocking details, of course, emerging of what is, remember, transpired in Manipur, something that has shocked the entire nation. So take a look at these Manipur monsters and what should be the punishment for each of them. Now this, you can see, this individual was dragging the woman through her breasts by holding her breasts. Remember, what should be the appropriate punishment for him is the big question. Here's another one. Here's another of the lumpens there. He was groping the woman through her genitals. Joining us at this point is K.V. Dhananjay, Supreme Court lawyer. K.V. Dhananjay, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Shocking video, outrage, of course, across the nation. But what is the legal route now following finally the much delayed police action in the matter? What should the court now do and what would be the appropriate punishment in your opinion?
Well, it's gruesome. I think it's we are all unable to express our indignation and then our outrage at what we've been seeing. However, the law has its own limitations. The most punishment that the Indian Penal Code provides for is death, and that my understanding is that the women are alive. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Now, in fact, let's quickly show you some more details, of course, emerging regarding this particular video and shocking case. Here's another of the lumpens there. Now, this individual was instructing the assault. What is the appropriate punishment for him? Many are asking. Okay. C.B. Pandey, former judge, continues to be with us as well. C.B. Pandey, many are asking whether there will be deferring punishment for the multiple accused or there will be one punishment meted out to all of them. For instance, this individual was instructing the assault. Some of the others we showed earlier were, of course, groping the victim. One holding her from the breast, one clawing her genitals.
The same punishment to everybody, because if you do something with common intention, then the maximum punishment is provided that for the main offense will be applicable to everyone. If the maximum punishment is outraging a woman, now it has become it has already come under the definition of the rape. Even if not actual rape is not committed, even then, if you are outraging the modesty of a girl in such a manner, then it is also a rape. And in that case, the punishment provided for rape, that is a life imprisonment. So if you are doing with common intention, and moreover, if it is a gang rape, then it's a death penalty. So if you consider it common intention for doing gang rape, then it is death penalty. And for that, they can be also liable to be punished with death punishment also, death penalty. So for that, everybody will be responsible. You can't say that only one person. In such cases, individual act is not very important. It's done with the common intention. Then for your offense, individual offense is not important, but the actual offense, which is the main offense, which has been done by even one person, or that offense will be permissible, will be for that offense to all. Yes.
Okay, let me quickly go across and get our viewers now more details emerging of this horrific video. So another individual can be seen. He was dragging the naked woman. The big question, of course, being now, what is the appropriate punishment for this individual as well? Ashwini Kumar Dubey, Supreme Court lawyer, is live with us as well. Ashwini Kumar Dubey, what should now be the legal route forward? given the fact that finally arrests are now being made, and we are also identifying the role of several of these lumpens here, would there be differing punishment, or would it be one punishment to all, and what should it be? Ashwini Dubey, your take.
See, thank you, Uday. Uday, after the Nirbhaya case, the Criminal Procedure Code was amended, and so far the offences against the women are concerned, that was widely incorporated in the Criminal Procedure Code. So 376 subclause D, subsection D of the Indian Penal Code category says the gang rape. Gang rape does not mean that only one person who has committed the heinous crime will be held liable. Anyone who was form of that gang shall be held accountable. This is law. So far as the multiple offences are concerned, multiple charge sheet will be filed, and if one accused has committed multiple offences under various provisions of Indian Penal Code, then of course the multiple trials will take place, irrespective of the fact that the trial nature should not be one. Second, moment these kind of things happen, whenever the law and order machinery who is required to procure and collect the evidence and take it to the logical conclusion, that is required. So now here, not only the videos which are emerging in the social media is required, but what were the circumstances which led to this happen? Who were the inciters of this violence? Who are the people behind this? Who was the form of the member of the gang, that gang who committed this crime? All those should be held accountable and they should be prosecuted. Now, in 376, suppose if somebody has died, suppose the victim has died, then the maximum punishment is capital punishment to that. But if somebody, the victim has not died, but then the maximum punishment up to 20 years or life imprisonment as per the amended provisions of the Indian Penal Code, Criminal Procedure Code. And Justice Verma Committee formed at that point of time has also suggested certain other measures. Now there is another aspect. If you see, Uday, the Supreme Court has also said that we are examining this issue. Suo motu cognizance has been taken, because suo motu tells me this is Supreme Court's jurisdictional powers which issue a suo motu writ on the grounds of blatant violation of law. So it shows that the state machinery was not able to handle the law and order situation in the Manipur. That is why the top court of country has to intervene. Though, Uday, one of the main aspects is the section Article 355 found in Part 18 of the Indian Constitution, which says the emergency provisions that are meant to be used in extremely rare circumstances. But despite that, situation was not under control. So not only one, the accused person, those who were the part of the government machinery, who did allow this to let it happen, those people should also be held accountable. One judge rightly said by Justice Pandey that 120B is there, but now the Indian Penal Code is also clear. 376D says that whosoever the member of that gang shall be held accountable. So let's see what happened. We all are condemning it. This is all solidarity with the families of the victims. This should not have happened. But now the thing is, it should be the preparators of the crime should be taken to the logical end, so that these kind of things should not happen in future. Over to you, Uday.
Okay, let me quickly also now go back and explain some more details of this particular video to our viewers. So you can see here more individuals. These are all individuals who were part of the mob procession, who was leading the victims there at that point, who was parading them naked through that road. These were all individuals who were partaking in the mob procession, clearly captured in that CCTV footage. Here's another lumpen element who was partaking in the mob procession. So these were all individuals who were partaking in the mob procession. They surely, KV Dhananjay, should also be prosecuted. But again, the big question I will ask you, will it be one punishment given to all of these elements, or will certain ones who perhaps were performing more physical action on the women be given more stringent punishment than the others?
Well, let's assume that the victims are alive, that they are not dead. And this would be rape during a communal or a sectarian violence. And therefore, the maximum punishment that would be inflicted upon those...
Well, here we are learning that they are survivors.
Yes, okay. So, the maximum punishment that would be inflicted upon those who actually committed the rape would be life imprisonment, with the rider that life imprisonment is not going to be 14 years or 21 years, but will be life imprisonment for the remainder of that person's natural life. This is the express clause in the Indian Penal Code. So this would be a communal or a sectarian violence. When a rape takes place, that is subject to enhanced punishment. Now, those people who have manipulated the genitalia of these victims, that would be treated as a rape. Now, those other individuals certainly may not be charged with rape itself if, if the design was not really to be part of it, but there will always be a lesser punishment. But I think the way to look at it is we don't have instances of people, more than 15, 16 people having been charged with rape and then succeeding. So I do not see the possibility of more than 20 or 22 of them here being charged with that, because the more you try to charge people, and the fewer the possibility at the end of the day, Manipur is subject to the Constitution of India. There still is some protection under the Constitution. Now, even people who commit crimes have rights, and then who have some protections. And for all those reasons, I think it's not quite fair. It's not quite proper to assume that dozens of people will get convicted in this case with the life imprisonment. Life imprisonment will be reserved to those who actually themselves committed rape. The rest of them who were accomplices, who in fact enabled it, I think they will be getting much, much lesser punishment. But at the end of the day, it's important to punish people. I think that's how we should look at it. And I think this case is not just about whether the law will take its due course. This is also about what we've become as a society. Now, I'm sure the mainland India does not see this as some other alien country. So we have to hang our heads in shame anywhere in the country for what is becoming in Manipur. The really worrisome part is this. When we see now that social media is rampant, and by the way, I've not seen the visuals so far because I personally consider it to be just too disturbing to even watch it. And I incidentally also understand that almost all the foreign media networks too are saying that the incidents are so gruesome that they can't even be telecast. So what we have understood of this is from what we have simply read. The problem is, when something like this happens, unless and until we move with lightning speed, we would be sending out a signal that, look, should there be another sectarian violence somewhere else, then, and if events like this happen, the law machinery will be slow to move. So for that reason, I think we ought to be terribly concerned, because if you look at the history of countries that in fact degenerated from stability to chaos, you will find some such instances taking place somewhere. But then the law machinery being slow to respond, the political machinery being slow to respond, where the aggravating circumstances. I think that is something we have to worry about. Manipur is not something that we will merely hang our heads in shame, but it is also something that we have to terribly worry about, because we have fault lines. India is a very diverse country. We have fault lines in so many other parts of this country, and we have to therefore be very worried about how we respond to this. We have not been responding adequately. I just want to tell you that much. Political blame game apart, we've not responded adequately to this.
Yes. Okay. Let me get some more aspects of this video now out for our viewers. So here are more individuals. Now, these individuals are brandishing weapons as well. So they clearly have weapons, as can be established in the video and in the grabs available. Another individual who also was brandishing weapons. Now, would the quantum of punishment perhaps increase for those with a greater role, CB Pandey, including this individual who was brandishing weapons as well?
One thing should be very clear, that there are 2 and 3 categories such matters.
And because let me quickly just follow that up by saying that these perhaps in all likelihood would be weapons which have been stolen as well, which is on record, because there have been a number of weapons stolen from police stations across Manipur.
For stealing the weapon, that's one offense. Now, if they are the part of the unlawful assembly, then they will be only responsible for making unlawful assembly, and for that is a separate offense, and for that separate punishment has been provided. But if they are part of the unlawful assembly, at the same time they are committing the crime also, they are part of the crime, committing the crime also, then along with the unlawful assembly, punishment for unlawful assembly, that is 144 and 148, 49 and something. If they are having weapon, then 149. These are the offenses under IPC. So for that, there is a different punishment. And if at the same time, if they are committing the offense with common intention, they are gang rape, then along with this offense, they will be also responsible for the main offense. Otherwise, if there is no evidence that they are a participant in the actual crime, so they will only responsible for the this unlawful assembly. Second thing, if there is a conspiracy for committing the rape, then under the conspiracy law is that they will be also responsible for the offense, which is the main offense which has been committed. So if they are included in the conspiracy, then they will be responsible for the rape also. But if not involved in conspiracy, then only for unlawful assembly they will be responsible, and for stealing the weapon for that there is Arms Act and all that. There are a number of offences for such action, so that those offences will be made out against them and they will be punished for that.
Yes. Let's quickly now bring in another individual. Now, this is an individual who was assaulting the woman, as can be clearly seen in this video as well. He's clearly been captured assaulting the woman. He's clearly guilty of assault. Now, what about the person who was filming the assault? That again is another role that has been established here, filming the entire crime and attempting to glorify it. Now, this is another aspect also, Ashwini Kumar Dubey, which also needs to be considered in the prosecution, isn't it?
Uday, there are two things. One, if the video is being made in order to give evidence, then that will be having a different evidential value. But if video is being filmed just to glorify the offense which is being committed by that individual, then that person is equally involved in outraging the modesty of a woman. Uday, the videos are very disturbing. One and most thing is when this barbaric offense is being taken place and the state has not taken any action at the time, because what we have learned through the social media, and whether those contents are true or not, that whether it is of May 2023 video or a recent video, but we have learned that video was done or these offenses were committed in May 2023, but no FIR, no arrest till now. Unless this video emerged in the social media, unless this catch the attention of the nation, there was no arrest. Now, this is an offense not against only the women, but against the humanity. The manner of the commission of the offense, it was to glorify, it was to particularly target the women of that area. The motive for commission of the offense, the impact of the offense on the whole society, facts and circumstances leading to the offense, the vulnerability of the members of the society at the hands of those offenders, the magnitude of the crime, the personality of the victim of the offense, and also whether tomorrow, after leading the evidence, this is considered to be one of the rarest of the rare case. If it is rarest of the rare case, then in the rape case, if death is not there, then the maximum punishment is life imprisonment, a minimum to 20 years or 10 years. But that will depend after leading the trial or what are the evidence. But as of now, we only say that as soon as possible, the perpetrators of the crime should be taken to the logical end, and the Supreme Court, on its own wisdom, since suo motu action has been taken, so using the constitutional powers, should ask the Chief Justice of Manipur to form the special court which will hear the matters on day-to-day basis, and also form the SIT which will supervise the investigation and also the proceedings. Over to you then.
Okay. Now also the fact very clearly here is that we would need perhaps this case to be made an example of, isn't it, KV Dhananjay? Do you believe it needs to be A, fast-tracked, and B, there also perhaps needs to be action taken against those who attempted a cover-up and were guilty of the delay?
Very true. But again, we also have to be somewhat practical in our expectations. It will take a lot of time. Rape trials, by their very nature, go on for a year at least. And then there are assuming the most punishment of life imprisonment is awarded, then there is a statutory appeal provided, and all of these cases also land up before the Supreme Court. It will be a couple of years. But I think the other concern that we might have is, look, when there is a sectarian violence, the police might not want to do anything if they are of the view that what they do could aggravate the situation. So it's equally important that the police move carefully in this matter. because this was a sectarian violence. It's of course absolutely essential that the police arrest everybody at once. But if the police don't do that, if they just go on incrementally arresting one after the other, we don't know if that is going to in fact aggravate the situation. So if Manipur is in need of more police force, I think it's important for the government of India to immediately send that additional police force, so that if both the government of India and then the Manipur administration make it a priority to crack down on this, whoever was part of it, and it doesn't matter, you can make 100 arrests, make 200 arrests, but make this an example of. And please depute more police personnel there. And if something like that could be done in the shortest possible time, then I think that way we could be compensating for the inertia that we've shown over the last 2 months. But something like that has to happen. You just should not trust the Manipur administration to do what it takes here. It's important that we put actually a very massive force here just to deal with this situation, and it's worth it. This situation has unraveled in a very damaging way to this country. I mean, we could actually send 500, 700, 800 police force there, and they could in fact arrest 100 or 200 people that were part of this. And that's when we will be sending out a message that this would never ever be tolerated. And there is no more room for events like this. No matter what the sectarian violence is, people should not degenerate to this. And there's no better way to send an example of that than to swoop down on, in a massive way and then to make arrests. And 5 arrests is nothing. There were so many dozens of people there. Why have we stopped with 5 arrests? And that too, it probably took a great deal of time for the police to do. So it's important, I think, for the mainland to be part of it. And, again, Manipur, it's important for the people of Manipur to understand that when something like this happens, there will be police personnel from all over the country being there to protect them, to protect the women folk, and then to deal with it seriously. Perhaps with the Honorable Chief Justice of India saying that we would want an update on from both the Manipur administration and the government of India on what is being done. We can expect the Chief Justice of India himself to say that please mobilize the biggest possible police force from across the country. Let that police force go there and swoop down and then arrest those individuals. Because once the people there know that the government of India and the people of this country are taking that event so seriously to, in fact, mobilize police force to this extent, that may also calm down further tensions. And even if there should be further tensions and sectarian violence, people will dare to do less of such events.
Okay, well, I've run out of time, so I'm going to have to leave it at that. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.